All right. How many of you have seen Peter Rabbit before? Okay. So, in that clip, they talk about forgiveness, right? And that song that we just heard was about forgiveness. And that idea that we forgive others, right? We're called to forgive one another as Christ forgave us. And so we're going to talk about that tonight because forgiveness is powerful, right? It's a big, complicated thing sometimes and a hard thing to do sometimes. It's just like loving one another. So I grew up playing a sport. Anyone guess what that sport might be? Basketball. I heard it. All right, basketball. And I was a post player. Anybody a post player? What does a post player do?
I'm a post player.
You're by the net. What else?
They score.
They dunk if I couldn't go. Yeah. They post up. They box out, right? They get rebounds. They usually shoot the ones right next to the basket, right? Yeah, so I was a post player. Also, being a post player, especially on the defense side of it, you had to stand there and hold your ground while someone's charging at you, oftentimes doing a layup, and stand there without getting fouled, which was hard to do sometimes because fouling is pretty easy as a post player, especially when they're going up to the basket and you hit their arm, you got a foul, right? They went and got free throw shots off of you. I got lots of fouls because I was aggressive at times because I was like, someone stole the ball from me, I'm going to get them. All right, I was always like one of those players that if they took the ball from me, I was going to get it back. And so I'd always get it back, but I'd foul usually. And sometimes in my career, I played from 3rd grade to 11th or 10th grade basketball. And there was a couple times I fouled out of the game. So you get 5 fouls and you're out of the game. So 5 unsportsmanlike plays, right? You get 5 chances to screw up, 5 chances to continue the game, and then you're out. So I tell you that because I want you to think about another sport. Another sport. What's a popular sport around the world?
Football.
Soccer. Okay. Yeah. Soccer is claimed to be the most popular sport around the world universally. And for any sport, there's rules, right? That's why I got a foul. That's why I fouled out. And rules make the game fair. So in soccer, if you do an unsportsmanlike play, you get a yellow card. Anyone gotten a yellow card before? All right. What happens after the yellow card? It's like a warning, but what happens after the yellow card? What do you get? You get a red card, and the red card means you're out of the game, right? So in basketball, you get 5 fouls and you're out. In soccer, you get 1 warning and then you get the red card. In baseball, you get 3 strikes, right? You get chances in some of those games, but soccer, you only get 1. You get 1 chance to improve, and then you're out, right? It doesn't seem like a forgiving game, does it? Not really, no. So I tell you that because it reminds me of what the disciples had asked Jesus. And so in Matthew 18, as the slide thing falls down on my, it's like falling. Okay, in Matthew 18, verses 21, it says, Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Some 70 times 7 is what Jesus says. 70 times 7. Does anyone know what 70 times 7 is? 490. Forgiving a person 490 times. Wow. Can you do that? Yeah, I'd lose count. But it would be hard, right? So I think a lot about the basketball and the soccer and the baseball kind of concept with forgiveness, in that sense that you get 5 fouls, you get 5 chances in those sports, but in soccer you get 1. But then you look at the Bible and it says, how many times should I forgive someone who's done mistakes or hurt me or done something that I don't like? And Jesus says, at least 490 times. Whew. Wow. That's a lot. So, and I think about that with like soccer, is that it's hard to forgive someone one time. It's hard to forgive someone who's hurt us one time. Or something that we might have done, like forgive ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to move past that. Forgiveness is a hard thing and it's a process. But Jesus doesn't stop at once. How many times does he forgive us on a daily basis? A lot, right? Probably more than 490 times, right? Yeah, I can't count on my fingers how many times I make mistakes in a day. But we're forgiven. And so sometimes when people hurt us or say mean things to us or forget about us, we kind of keep track, like the fouls and the strikes. We're like, oh, yep, there's one. Oh, yep, there's two. And we can keep track. And like those, they can hurt our relationships when we keep track of them. When we just continually know that someone hurt us and we don't forgive them and we continue to keep track of all the things that they've done to us. And it also stops us from loving them. Micah pointed it out, to keep your pride aside. Well, forgiveness, like allowing yourself to forgive them, asking God for help in that, it's a process and it takes time. And it takes a lot of prayer sometimes. And so we need to give other people chances like God gives us. Because man, I tell you, I screw up every day. Anyone screw up every day? Right. Okay. But God isn't like us. He doesn't keep track of the fouls or the strikes we have in life. He doesn't keep track of all those things. He doesn't keep count of them. He just keeps on forgiving. It's continual. He gives us chance after chance every single day. And it's really hard for us to forgive one time. But God's doing it all the time to us, right? So, we all make mistakes, and we all do things that we should not do. So, and if it helps to think about the sport thing, because keeping track is not something that it's something that's easy for us to do, and it's not something we should do, right? If someone's hurting us or doing something, or we're keeping track of the things we do wrong. But going to God with those things and asking for forgiveness, but also for each other. Forgiving each other at least 490 times for something, because God is always constantly forgiving us for the things we do. And so we're called to forgive one another. So that's your challenge, is with that whole idea of love and setting aside your pride, like Micah talked about. Now it's time to, forgiveness is part of that love factor. It's a whole process. And so we're called to forgive as well. All right, let's pray.